So, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of NCA Chats with me, Chris Seal. And this week, I'm delighted to say that I am joined by Director of Rugby at Birmingham Moseley. It's Adam Boulding. Adam, thank you so much for giving us your time this afternoon. I know we spoke just briefly before I pressed the record button there, but how's life been for you during this period of time?
Pretty full on, Chris. My wife and I, we've got 4 children, so it's it's a bit manic in my house. So I'm itching to get out when possible. But no, it's all good. It's good to get some family time in. But I'll never hear a bad word said about a teacher again. So.
And for you as a director of rugby as well, Adam, what's this period been like for you? Because it's been probably nearly 4 months since the last time we saw a National League rugby game. So what's that sort of 4-month window been like for you?
It's been it's been challenging. I mean, I don't think anyone could have planned for. I don't think anyone could have planned for what everyone's kind of worked through these last few months, and no one ever wants to see the season cut short. But it was just an abrupt end to what was quite an interesting season, and and then we had this dead time in between, and 3.5 months of just kind of treading water to try and work out where we go next. And you're trying to plan for something that you're not sure when it will happen. I'm sure it will happen. But it's just trying to get a bit of clarity in terms of return to start dates, really.
Yeah, and just on that clarity, Adam, I mean, we had RFU CEO Bill Sweeney on the show last week, and we did pressing on the windows that I know the RFU have come out September, November and January is what they're saying. And Bill kindly gave us his time and gave us an answer on that and did say his fingers crossed were for September. But for you guys as a rugby club in the National Leagues, are you pleased to just have that little bit of clarity? Because around this time, obviously, start planning for pre-season, start planning towards something, but now you do have potential dates to start working towards.
Sorry, Chris, sorry, mate, 2 seconds. That's on I was in call. That's the kids. I mean, it's good to have some clarity. But it's like I say, it's a bit of the unknown. There's a Zoom call on this Friday with I think it's Simon Kemp from the RFU, just to have a chat about some of the hurdles that the medical staff have been trying to work through. And we're planning obviously for a September start, or if it doesn't happen, bump it back a month to October and so on. But yeah, it's just, how can I put it? It's just that unknown, isn't it? You want to kind of press that button. It's like with the lads at the moment, we're training remotely. We want to get the lads back in, but we're just conscious that if the season was not to start in September and was to drag on maybe until November, you could be doing a 4-month pre-season block, and the lads would be absolutely dusted by Christmas. So it's just trying to take a bit of a sensible approach to what is, like I said, is a challenging time.
Absolutely. But before kind of looking towards next season when it hopefully does start, Adam, let's just go back to last season, if you don't mind. And we said before, obviously, it was your first year in charge as director of rugby at the club. And I think it's fair to say you guys got off to an absolute flying start. I remember speaking to Aquil Smith after his performance in that win over Hull Ionians. And I think it was 5 wins from your first 7 games for Birmingham Moseley. And then sort of injuries start to creep in and results start to not go your way. So how can you sum it up, if you can, sort of that first season in charge for you?
I think it's fair to say that I think everybody who came into the environment did a great job. I was appointed quite late. Normally, when you get to May, your squad's already assembled, and I was still recruiting middle of June. So it gives you an idea of the dynamics that we were kind of faced with. So I think everyone, like I say, everyone gave a really good account of themselves. But whether you like it or not, National One is such an attritional league. Anyone can beat anybody on any given day. And we had a great pre-season. We went down to Wales, played a double header, had a really good game against Coventry. The boys came together really well. It was a new management team as well. And I'm a firm believer that good pre-season got us off to such a good start. And it's like with anything, when you're winning, it's an easy place to be. But when you start to lose 1 or 2 games, that bit of doubt creeps in, and players start to doubt themselves, maybe question what's going on. And not that anybody did, by the way, because we have such a good group of lads. But I just think when you're such a new team and you're trying to create that environment, it's easy to derail. But all credit to our boys. We dropped 27 points, which had we have been together maybe for another season, I would like to think we'd have collected. That would have changed the whole position that we were in within the league, and we'd have probably finished 6th or 7th, so, as opposed to being right at the very foot of the table, fighting for survival.
Yeah, you mentioned those 27 points there, Adam, and I think it's fair to say with Birmingham Moseley, from an outsider looking in, that you guys have been going through a transition period ever since the club came into National One. So is it fair to say that last year was certainly a transition phase with you guys coming as a new coaching team and bringing that group of players together?
Yeah, absolutely. It was like I said. We had a real good mixture of players from various backgrounds, from different playing levels, and like I say, new management team. And yourself, you're trying to gel something together very, very quickly. And when the pressure comes on, that's when things start to creak a little bit. And we did creak, but all credit to every single player and the staff. We stuck together, and the fans stayed with us. And they certainly got behind the boys, and we had some notable performances. Just after Christmas, we picked up some valuable points, and we started to turn our season around. In my opinion, we should never have been in that position. Yeah. So for me, I was kind of more disappointed with the fact we dropped 27 points. Not really the position that we're in, because had we collected those points, we would have been top 6, maybe 7.
Yeah. And you mentioned at the start of the chat about you being in an interesting situation towards the wrong end of National One, if you like. And obviously the season was cut short due to the coronavirus pandemic that we are experiencing. And there's obviously the RFU came up with their best record playing formula, which worked in Birmingham Moseley's favour. And we saw Rotherham go down to National 2 North. But what were your kind of feelings around that time, Adam? Do you think you'd done enough, as you said there, to stay in the league?
Yeah, I mean, look, for anybody to miss out on promotion or get relegated off the back of a formula, it's harsh, because your destiny is no longer in your hands; it's down to an algorithm. But I go back to my original point. We dropped 27 points. We should have won the games that we lost. Had we collected those 27 points, you and I wouldn't be talking about this right now. We'd probably be talking about something else. So yeah, look, I do feel sympathetic towards those sides on the wrong end of that algorithm. But at the end of the day, sport, we were just on 25 games, not 30. And for 25 games, we were the better side. The results speak for themselves. So with that in mind, we deserve to stay up.
And I think probably now the dust has settled on last season, and teams are really starting to plan for whatever next season's going to start. And I think one of the reasons we've got you on today, Adam, is because Birmingham Moseley have been so proactive over the last few weeks. And I mean, the media guys and all the social media, you can see how much hard work you've put into things. And I know you said at the start of last month, Adam, that your squad was probably around 85% secured. We've seen over the last 30 days or so some more new faces that have re-signed and come into the club. So how happy are you with the state of your squad at the moment going into sort of this period?
I think really happy, because it's not just challenging times for the clubs and for the management, for the directors of rugby, the coaches. It's also challenging for the players. And there's a lot of players out there still in limbo, and all of our lads that we've retained, they've been very supportive. Couldn't wait to get back on board, and the new lads that have come in who have been recruited, again, have been really sympathetic with what's going on in the wider scheme of things. And the players coming in will certainly bolster what we're trying to achieve, and I believe we've got a great group, and we've got a couple of other signings still to come in, but we're not going to rush ourselves in those positions. There's a lot of players still floating around, and we've got lots of good conversations going on, and we're not going to rush anything. We're going to make sure the last couple of players who come in really add some strength in depth to the squad.
And when you came into the club, Adam, you mentioned as well that it wasn't going to be an easy challenge for you or the club. But is this sort of period now when you are looking to bolster that squad and recruit players, what are the major challenges you have been faced with? Because I can imagine for any clubs and any potential players, a lot of things are up in the air at the moment.
Yeah, well, if you look at any business, sporting club, everyone's financially been affected by coronavirus. It's had a massive financial impact. You can't earn money. And I just want to say, we've got an amazing fan base. They've really supported the club. They've donated through build my team. We've got a really proactive board of directors. We're underpinned by a fantastic volunteer base at the club. In fact, the club's built on a fantastic volunteer base. And the staff that are there do a fantastic job in difficult times. So collectively, I think we've managed to get through this the best we can. And I think we're all looking forward to trying to get back to some normality and enjoying what we do best, which is playing on Saturday afternoons. It was great to see the club back open last Saturday. I think we had about 90 people down, obviously socially distancing, of course. But it was just good to see people back in the club and to see that buzz around the place. And we just can't wait to get going. But it's we just got to be patient. I think we just got to wait till we get that green light.
Yeah, you touch on the I Built a Team project there, Adam, which I'm not sure the overall figure, but I think it's well over sort of £15,000 now, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And like I said, it shows actually how supportive our fan base really is, and also our commercial, our sponsors, our partners, everybody's involved with the club. Birmingham Moseley is such a prestigious club. It's got such potential, and to have so many good people involved with the club can only be a positive thing moving forward. And like I said, last year was a transition. This year, hopefully it's a big step forward, and then we can build on that and looking for the following season. Yeah,
and I'm sure those supporters would have been delighted to see that what they've been able to do is influence people like Ashley Johnson coming to the club. I know he's coming as a player and coach, and that's probably put a few smiles on those supporters, because a lot of people have probably set up and taken notice of what you guys have been doing this summer, and then to bring sort of Ashley's calibre in, it must be a real bonus for you guys. And first and foremost on that, Adam, how big of a bonus is it for the club to bring someone like Ashley in?
It's massive. It's absolutely huge. He's a fantastic player. His playing career, his playing record speaks for itself. But more importantly, he's just a really humble, nice guy. He's just a regular guy who just wants to get involved with the coaching side, develop his coaching career, and he still wants to play. And myself and my head coach, Peter Glackin, between the two of us, we've been speaking to him for months, really.
Right.
And to be fair, clearly Ashley liked what he heard, and he's on board. And we can't wait to get him involved. The lads, all the players are really excited to be working with him. The club is certainly buzzing. I know the fans are desperate to meet him, and I'm sure it'll be a massive force within Birmingham Moseley. It can only benefit us in terms of what we're trying to achieve. And I, for one, really look forward to working with him.
And is that a big sort of plus point for you and Pete, Adam, that Ashley has chosen Birmingham Moseley? Because I've seen, some of the news reports, not sure how true they are, but he could have had the option potentially to go to South Africa and continue playing. But for him to say, do you know what, I want to put my coaching and aspirations first and foremost, and then I'm going to take the step into National One, must be pleasing for you and Pete, because he's going to be dedicated to this club 100%.
It is, yeah, absolutely. And, I think he could have gone to France as well. So I know he's very settled where he currently lives. And, I understand how difficult it is to transition out of professional sport. It's not easy, and it's in fact, it's underestimated. And, players go through a very difficult period in that transition. So to be able to play a part in Ashley's transition, helping him move out of a full-time professional environment into what is still a professional environment, but obviously on a lower scale, and also maybe help him with a career, get a job, whatever that looks like. That for us is the bigger picture. We want to try and help and support him the best we can to make sure that he can then deliver what he needs to deliver for the club.
You touch on there as well, your experiences, Adam, of stepping away from the professional game. But is it brilliant for you personally to see Ashley come into the club, because you can both sort of bounce your ideas off each other because you've experienced the top level of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some good chats already, and I've sat on a couple of Zoom calls between Pete Glackin, the head coach who oversees all the coaching, and Ashley, and I've kind of just listened in the background. But we're all on the same page. We speak the same rugby talk. It'd be great for him to bring in some fresh ideas and just put his own stamp on it. But like I said, I think success is built around a good group of people working hard together, and he's certainly a key figure in that jigsaw. And I'm pretty sure with the management team that we've currently got, the playing squad, and all the support and the infrastructure within the club itself, hopefully when we get the green light, we can get off to a good start and have a good season, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, and just finally for me, Adam, you touched on sort of how much support the club's been getting from the fans with the support page that they've been doing, and you've raised an awful lot of money. So everyone seems to be very excited and very, in debt to the club at the moment going forward. And I'm sure the new signings and stuff is keeping that buzz around the place going. So what is sort of the ambition for you guys next season, whenever it starts? Because we said before, it has been a transition phase, but judging by how proactive you guys have been, there seems to be some formula building at Birmingham Moseley, if I'm not getting too far ahead of myself.
No, we want to get into the Premiership in 2 years. No, I'm joking.
The headline written there, Adam.
That's a joke. No, look, you hear the word culture and environment banded around an awful lot in sports and business. And look, we understand the challenges with National League Rugby. You're not an amateur. You're not a full-time professional. You sit in between, so it's a very difficult position to position yourself. And a lot of these boys who we work with have been, at work all day. They've either been on a building site, teaching all day, sat behind a desk in a board meeting, whatever that looks like. And we have to try and be as professional as we can be, whilst still being realistic. And we want to make sure that the club is unified from the top down, from the bottom up. All the children coming through Birmingham Moseley see a clear pathway into how they get into the first team. And we want to make sure that we look after all the players, both on and off the field. Player welfare is massive. We want to make sure that all players have that equal opportunity away from the club, whether that's upskilling, whether that's further education, whether that's a job opportunity, whatever that might look like. We want to put those mechanisms in place, because then it will mean it's a more sustainable model for Birmingham Moseley. Richmond do it really well, and it's a great model. And I think in semi-professional rugby, that's the only way to go. It means you don't have a massive wage bill. It means that you're trying to provide that all-round package. And if that's what we can do at Birmingham Moseley, which is what we're trying to do, and we've certainly made a few good steps towards that, then we'll be certainly happy. And if we can lay those foundations for this season and build on that in the seasons to come, then the club will hopefully get back to where it belongs, which is the Championship, and we'll be back to the place where, in my opinion, we should be.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. And it certainly seems like an exciting time to be part of Birmingham Moseley at the moment. And fingers crossed we do get rugby back up and running as soon as possible. Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us on NCA Chats today.
No, not a problem. Absolute pleasure. Stay safe, and hopefully we'll get back on the pitch soon.
Good message, Adam. Good message. Thanks very much, Adam. Much appreciated. And that's been another episode of NCA Rugby Chats.